Can you tell me, how does somebody get into that industry at such a young age?
It wasn't me, it was my mom that had decided to put me in. It was actually her friend that was bugging her to get me into the industry. And finally, my mom said, okay, well, we'll give it a shot, there's nothing to lose. And so I did my first commercial audition, and I ended up booking that one. And so my mom was like, wow, this is great, let's keep going while we can. And so between about 4 and 12, I did about 60 commercials. And then at that age, it was, did I want to keep going? And of course I did. Acting had been my life, and it still is. And so I got into film and TV industry, and I did a lot of day players and guest roles and stuff like that. And then finally at 17 I booked Defiance, and that was my first recurring in a series.
And you've done everything from the newest Center Stage to the Tooth Fairy. Those were all your younger roles. You were just talking about Defiance. Do you remember the actual day that you heard back saying that you had the recurring role?
On Defiance, yes, I do. It was a family dinner with my dad's side of the family, and I was on the trampoline with my little cousin, and I got a phone call from my agent. And at this point, I'd been waiting for a few weeks to hear back from this role, and I was really anxious and nervous, and I knew he was calling, and so I was thinking, do I answer it? Because maybe he'll tell me I didn't book it, and maybe he'll tell me I did, and so I really didn't know. And I finally picked up the phone and said hi, and I just went silent, and I was just waiting for him to break the news to me. And so he told me I booked the role, and I was so ecstatic. I just ran inside the house and just told everyone, I was like, I'm moving to Toronto. I was so excited. It was like the best news I'd ever had in my whole life, and it really was. I mean, that moment was life-changing for me.
When it comes to moving for a role, moving to Toronto, obviously away from your family, at such a young age, how do you get used to that?
I'm a very adventurous person, and so for me it was very exciting. I basically graduated from high school and then moved to Toronto, and just I rented an apartment, and I was living on my own, and I was trying to, all the hardships everyone goes through while they live on their own. It was feeding myself and taking care of myself, and just, getting over being lonely, alone, and without your mom and without your sisters there. But I got used to it very easily. I was there filming a series, so it was great for me. I had so much fun. I was there for 6 months, and it was just an incredible experience.
And did it come to the point where the cast knew each other so well that it was almost like you had family there anyways?
It did. We are a family, the Defiance cast. Every second Saturday we would have potlucks with each other, or we'd go out to dinner. I even hosted a few of them at my house, and so sometimes even the cast would come over to my house, and it was a family. We would walk each other's dogs, we'd take care of each other, bring each other cookies. We were a family, and so I didn't really feel like I was missing that element when I was in Toronto.
Now, Defiance is in its first season. Can you tell us a little bit about the plot of the show?
Yeah, the show Defiance takes place in the future, 2046. And it's basically these arcs, these Votan ships that came to Earth, and basically there was a huge war for quite a few years between the aliens and the humans, and then finally they decided to have peace and stop fighting. And so then there was a town that was created, and it's a town called Defiance. And basically now we have a town in this new terraformed Earth with aliens and humans trying to coexist peacefully. But it doesn't always work out that way because there's so many differences with each race.
And what's your character?
I'm Christy Macaulay. I'm Rafe Macaulay's daughter. Rafe is a very important man in Defiance, and so I'm a very important daughter in Defiance. My character's storyline, basically, I fall in love with an alien named Alec Tar, and that is very much a taboo thing. You don't mix races, and so it's a new thing in Defiance, and everyone is either okay with it or very not okay with it, and so it causes a lot of problems in Defiance.
Now, you've done work on that. You also did work on I believe it was a made-for-TV movie, Scarecrow?
I did.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Scarecrow is a TV movie for the Sci-Fi Channel. It'll be out later on. Basically, it's all in the title. It's about an evil scarecrow. A bunch of students, we get on a school bus. We're in detention, and we have to go clean up a field. And turns out there's an evil scarecrow in the field, and pretty soon we all start dropping like flies.
Now, with everything that you've been a part of, from comedy to obviously horror, you've also got a dance background. You did Center Stage. What's your ultimate favorite genre to be a part of?
Science fiction, honestly. There are actually quite a few really interesting roles in the sci-fi genre. Every character always has such a deep, enriched character description. They have such a great past or such a great future ahead of them. That's why I love sci-fi. It's just such interesting roles to play.
If there was one role that you could choose that you could play, what would it be?
A very badass girl. Actually, I am very much working on it. I am taking kickboxing lessons right now because I think it would be really cool to do a role that involves martial arts or something cool like that.
It's funny that you say that because, I mean, I've met you a couple times now and you totally don't give off the badass girl vibe. So is it almost like having an alter ego?
I think so. I think it really would be. Exactly. I'm very much the girl next door, very the sweet little girl. But I really think that'd be such a fun role to play, and it gets me out of my body and into another character. And I think that'd be really interesting to try and portray.
And what's coming up next for you?
I'm just actually in the middle of filming a TV movie for the Lifetime channel, and it's called Baby Sellers. So that'll be out pretty soon on the Lifetime channel. It's about baby trafficking.
And are you allowed to tell us anything about your role in it?
Not yet.
That's fair. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It was great being here on this lovely White Rock Beach.